Hey y'all. So this is part 3 of distractions. And today we're going to be focusing on people being a distraction when we are following God and have given up our life and just have left so much stuff behind. And I just want to just give people some insight on things that God have shared with me along my journey that some people probably can't see. And sometimes it takes for somebody on the outside to help someone to see some things. And, I told y'all, God just opened up my eyes and helped me to see and, tell me why he did this, and he'll show me along the way. But don't you know, when you start walking away from things and you start living that life that God wants you to live, and you have given up your life and you have laid down stuff, don't you know that God would start pulling you away from the crowd? And that's even from what you used to do. It's not just coming from bad habits. He's going to pull you away from people that you might would have, hanged around and been around. And, it's like, y'all, all of that got to go. Because if you don't, leave it where it was, then they might not be on that same journey that you is on. So when you give up that life, you is leaving not just habits behind, but you gonna have to leave people, because people will become a distraction, because they might not be ready to lay down things that you have decided that you're ready to lay down. So I couldn't understand that. And then God had started showing me, like, not only I'm getting ready to separate you from these people, it's just things that you don't know that's going on behind the scenes that he knows. And that was also a part of it. And I'm saying that because on down the road, he started showing me, like, this what was going on. This what they was doing. This what was going on behind your back. And I just had to separate you from that. And don't you know, when you don't leave things behind, when you start walking with God and everything that you was affiliated with, when you was doing you and living your own life and had your own people, and you chose to hang with this crowd and that crowd, don't you know that if you try to take that with you, that will become a distraction? And I'm going to tell you right now that everybody's not ready to live the way that God wants them to live. And we just got to be honest about that. So just because you're ready to give it up doesn't mean that these very people that you hanging around is ready to give it up. So it's a separation. So now God said, I got to separate you from what you have chose. And that's their whole lifestyle. And now I'm moving you over here, because if I allow this to come with you, there will be a distraction. Don't you know, you have people that have literally blocked people. I have sat back and watched people trying to live the life God wants them to live. But they have people around them that's not ready to do that walk. That's not ready to lay down their life and live the way God wants them to live. Don't you know that I have sat back and watched people hinder people from blessings, from doing what God is telling them to do? I have sit back and watched people allow other people to block them. So some people, it's a distraction because everybody is not going to give up their life the same time you giving up yours. Everybody's not going with you. So God got to separate. And you have to be careful because we'll try to drag everything with us that we saying that, okay, I'm not ready to do this no more, but I got to bring these people with me. And God be like, no, because they not ready yet. But you are. So if I allow it to come with you, guess what? You will not be where I want you to be. You will not be who I have made you to be. Because you still carrying baggage and distraction. And then when you trying to live right and do this, then you got somebody over here in this ear saying, well, you acting funny. You shouldn't be doing this. Let's do this. Let's keep doing this. They still want to do things that you have laid down. So people becomes a distraction. And that's why you always hear when people say everybody can't go with you. And that's true, because that's what God taught me. That everything that you playing, you got to leave that life behind. Like you going into a new life. The life that I have planned for you. I'm getting ready to take you there. So this life over here, this lifestyle that you had planned, you got to let that go. And that goes with all the distraction. That includes people too. People will become a distraction. People will hinder you. People will be in your ear. I got some scriptures that I want to read. Don't put your trust in mere humans. They are as frail as breath. What good are they? That's Isaiah the 2nd chapter, the 22nd verse. It is better to take refuge in the Lord than to trust in people. That's Psalms 118, the 8th verse. And refuge is when God is our refuge, it's saying that God is our safe place when we need protection from things. And guess what? People will become a big distraction. And I always say that when God ready for you to be connected and have, you bringing people your way that's on that journey where you is at that can help you along the way, God will bring it. But I'm telling you, you have to be careful because people will become a big distraction. God probably be telling you, this is a time for me and you. You don't need all of this around you. You don't need all these people. This not the time to be hanging out like you used to, because I'm ready to do a new thing in you. So I got to build you up. I got to teach you my way, not your way, not how you used to live, but his way. Don't allow people to be a distraction to where it's keeping you from doing what God wants you to do. It's a hindrance. People will hinder you, especially if they're not on that same journey. They're going to start putting negative things in your ear. Doubts, telling you shouldn't be doing this. Just negative stuff. Don't allow humans to be a distraction. I don't care who they are. That's where I'm at. I don't care who you are. I would not allow man to distract me from doing what God has planned for me. I always say, hey, the journey is lonely. But let me tell you something. Sooner or later, God will bring the right ones along at the time that he chooses to. Okay? Bye, y'all.